Hello YouTubers, Hot Rod Paul again. As promised, I'm going to show you just a few things what's happened with the plastic welding. And here is a few of the items that we've been working on. Headlight surrounds and the instrument cluster, and all in various different stages of completion. What I might do from this pile is just show you what has been possible and where we're at. With this one, I've removed all of the paint. We can see that it's grey. At the top we can see that I filled that hole and sanded, added a bit of plastic to the edge of it, sanded it down, and look at the bonding on the back. That is strong and stronger than what it originally was. And we can see that the middle screw has been repaired and clear added to it, and again sanded in preparation for sanding. At the bottom, that whole piece there was missing, and so what we have done is added a mixture of black and clear. The clear I found is easier to melt. Looks awful. But considering it wasn't there, and then we look at the edge and it's got the proper curve to it. So with a bit of working with a Dremel or something like that, I'm going to have that near perfect, and once painted you won't be able to tell that that was missing. If we look at it along the side there, we see a square crevice, a rectangular crevice. That part there was completely missing. It had been cracked off and split, so I just got the file out, filed it down to a relatively square surface to work with, cleaned it with thinners, and then started melting and adding, melting and adding, melting and adding. And we can see I've sanded it using 180 grit and a file, and that's ready for, again, that's ready for paint and the rest of the completed area. The hole underneath of it was around about 15mm wide when it should only be 5mm wide. The bolt had been pulled, nut had been pulled all the way through. Again filled, and that's ready for a sand, and then drilled out with a 5mm bit. Same with the top piece there. Okay, so that's in the one stage. How did people used to do it? Well, I've got a sample here. We can see that this particular headlight surround has had automotive putty, Bondo, whatever you want, added to the bottom of it, all the way around here and around there to repair a crack, obviously from a car accident, all the way along there. That's probably about 15 years old. It's actually still cracked. It moves, and the Bondo's just holding it in place so it doesn't go backwards, and then they've put a lot of paint on it. So what I've done is fix up the initial holes there around the edges in the same spots as usual, and I've tackled holes here, filled those in because they were again about 20mm in size, the same as this top one here from behind. And my aim is, when I get time, just to remove all this Bondo and repair this split all the way along here properly, and then I'll have another good headlight surround. This one here is almost completed. This one had a crack all the way along there, so I melted the top of the surface here, got it clean, and then from the back we can see I filled all in here with clear cable ties. Use the clear cable ties, the small 2.5mm ones, because I can use it like flux, and I just hold it on the iron until a big clear blob occurs, and I drop that onto the area and then quickly use the soldering iron to run it around, and that will bond the surface. And that repair there took about 20 minutes. Again, the same thing up here, that's all repaired and paint put over the top of it, and up here, and they're all ready to be drilled out again and installed on the car in about 15 minutes. Another one here that's been completed that I showed you last week sometime, being repaired. Okay, that one's all fixed. along those edges. It's had a bit of paint put on it. Once I put the screws on, you won't pick it up. That'll live another day. This is the cluster that you saw me working on originally, and those holes have been, that was all missing around there. That's all been added, painted. There were 3 holes here, they've all been filled. There was a hole there that was warped, and I fixed that. There was a couple of holes here, fixed all of those. There were holes, multiple cracks and holes in the top of the fascia. They've all been fixed, and the fascia is relatively flat now. If you look at the gauges, they're nice and clear. I've just used an automotive metal polisher with the white polish and cleaned that perspex up. I've taken them out and put the perspex into a padded cloth and worked down on top of those, and they are very clear now. That instrument cluster is now ready for the car. I ended up breaking the lugs off the back of the clock, so I had to do more plastic welding there to build up the lugs, 2 lugs, and I've added a few more wires there. I've added the plug on the back there, so it's all just plug and play now. I've managed to find a crash pad for my car, dash pad, so that will be here in a couple of weeks, I would guess. Now, what have I done today? Also, the wires for the indicators have been lengthened and fixed, as you can see there, on both sides. These wires were actually flat underneath the metal work here, so I don't know how that occurred. On both sides you couldn't move them. That was a fire ready to happen. What else? Done the back of the car. I just put everything back on. So that's how the back of the car looks. Blacked out and got rid of all of the crinkling, peeling paint on the back there. I've also metal polished the plastics, so the plastics are looking a lot brighter than what they were. So that's how the car looks now. It's getting there. So the next endeavour is just these sill panels here, or rocker panels, is to take all of the paint off where the rust is, apply a rust neutraliser, leave that for a day, and then come back and paint the bottom parts of the sills black as well. And that's about it, guys. Moving on and up. Thank you for watching.